You know, we could spend a lot of time reflecting on this Brooklyn Nets season. But if somebody was to ask me, Big Perk, one word that comes to mind when you think about the fact that the Brooklyn Nets were swept in the first round of these NBA playoffs, here's the word that comes to my mind: justice. First takes in the house. Let's go.
One of the preseason favorites to start the year, the Brooklyn Nets, and it all fell apart.
It ends like that. You start thinking about the whole year.
Still asking why.
I mean, I was out, Kev was out, James gets traded. It's just a culmination of things that happened throughout our year.
A lot of stuff that happened throughout the season need to go well in order for you to be a good team. And a lot of things didn't go our way.
Big Perk, all I gotta say is Stephen A must be a soap opera star, because that was a dramatic opening to the show. Good morning, everybody. Hope you're having a wonderful Tuesday. I'm Molly Karam. That is Kendrick Perkins, the NBA champion. And this is the one and only Stephen A counting down till he talks about the Nets. So you're kind of in a somber mood this morning? Because I'm not feeling that.
I'm not somber. I'm not somber. I just have a lot to say. I spent the evening reflecting, Kendrick Perkins, just reflecting. And I have a lot to say, but not before I hear what my man Big Perk has to say. Good morning, Molly.
Good morning. All right, let's do this. So the preseason favorites to win the title, the Brooklyn Nets, got swept on their home floor last night. KD finally looked like himself, putting up 39, 7-9, but it wasn't enough. And Ben Simmons was not on the bench after his back soreness resurfaced, had him out once again for Game 4. KD, how would you characterize this season?
No regrets. I mean, it happens. You know, no crying over spilled milk. It's about how we can progress and get better from here. We can't have no regrets on what we did. It just played out the way it played.
I felt like I was letting the team down at a point where I wasn't able to play. You know, we were trying to exercise every option for me to play, but I never wanted to just be about me. And I think it became a distraction at times. And when I say I'm here with Kev, I think that it really entails us, you know, managing this franchise together alongside Joe and Sean and just our group of family members that we have in our locker room, in our organization. You know, so it's not just about me and Kev. I don't want to make it just about that. We're cornerstones here, but you know, we have a few other guys that are on contract, and I think we just got to make some moves this offseason, really talk about it, and really be intentional about what we're building.
Big Perk, I'll start with you. How would you recap this season for the Brooklyn Nets?
Well, I mean, a complete disaster, a failure. And these interviews that Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant gave after the game, I mean, it was beyond crazy to me. And look, I know I came on here and I said I would never say anything negative about Kyrie Irving again, but right now, damn it, I can't help it. I don't know what the hell he was talking about in that interview. I mean, he was talking in circles so much I got dizzy. I mean, what are you talking about? You talking about you were a distraction. Duh. You talking about that you put your team in a bad situation, basically. Duh. We always wondering, hey, Kyrie, are you going to sacrifice? Are you going to get vaccinated? Are you going to come back? You know, your guy Kevin Durant, he's 100% in. He needs you. He's riding with you. He has your back. He defends you all the time. When I look at this Brooklyn Nets team, from the upper part of the organization, from Sean Marks on down, it is a complete circus. It's a complete circus. No structure, no culture, no nothing. It's no accountability whatsoever. And Steve Nash, I mean, my God, what are you going to do? The whole series, you stood around there and just stood there and looked like a damn statue. You didn't make one single adjustment. You didn't put neither one of your superstars in position to be successful. So when I'm looking at this Brooklyn Nets team, don't sit up here and say, oh, we're not going to cry over spilled milk. Yeah, yes, we are. Yes, we are. Because you cannot have two of the most skilled players to ever play the game of basketball in Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant, and you can't win one game? Not one game. And so it goes back to what I told Stephen A. after game one when I said, Kevin Durant got punked. And then right after he got punked, guess what? The Boston Celtics not only made Kevin Durant tap out, but Marcus Smart made Kyrie Irving tap out. Marcus Smart put him in the straitjacket. He couldn't breathe. That's my takeaway. That's my recap of the Nets season.
You know, when you, I had to sit up there because I was arguing with some people last night and then some additional folks this morning, because I'm going to tell you a little secret about me covering the NBA for as long as I have and covering sports for as long as I have. I'm about brothers getting paid. I'm unapologetic about that. As much as I have had to talk about sports figures, particularly athletes, not just coaches, obviously, and executives, but athletes primarily, and what have you. If you've noticed and you've paid attention, Kendrick Perkins, most of the talking, 99% of the time, damn it, if not 100% of the time, I talk about dudes after they got their money. Because I want them to get paid. I want them to get paid. We understand the society that we're living in. We understand the challenges that we face, particularly as a black community. We understand a lot of stuff that's going on, okay? We get all of that. And I want brothers to get paid. But I also want to send a message that we're about earning our money. We're about going out there and putting in that work and making sure that you understand we're going to show up. You understand? And I looked at Kyrie Irving and I looked at Kevin Durant last night, and I know that Kevin Durant is a hooper all day, every day. He don't give a damn. He want to play, he want to play, he want to play. And I get all of that. Did you see any pain, particularly from Kyrie Irving, Kendrick Perkins? Did you see anything that said, you know what, it really, really hurts? We just got swept. I mean, this is pretty bad. This really, really stinks. Oh, no. He was smiling on the basketball court. You know, hugging and singing Kumbaya to his former teammates in Boston and all of this other stuff. He was hugging, he was smiling. He goes up to the press conference. He's cool, he's suave. Because you know what? You got the offseason. Guess what? Kyrie Irving's got time off. Lo and behold, I mean, surprise, surprise, surprise. There's additional time off for Kyrie Irving. He don't have to work in the May. It ain't even May yet. He don't have to work in the May. He damn sure don't have to work in the June. So now he's got off May, June, July, August, September, and he's got to show up to work 6 months later, all right? 6 months later in October. And that's after having about 50 games off this year, okay? This is what the problem is. And I look at Kyrie Irving, and what appalls me is that I have to sit up here and talk about a brother's money as if he doesn't deserve it. So I want to make sure that I'm clear with what I'm about to say to the American people out there and beyond, because we're seeing in China and other places throughout this world. Let me say this. As I've said before, Kyrie Irving is worth the money. The brother is box office. And when I say to you I would never give him a long-term deal, I'm not implying that I wouldn't give him the money. What I'm saying is it would be an opt-out after every year if I could pull it off. You got to show up to work. Because that is at the heart of all of this. Kendrick Perkins, if Kyrie Irving was there throughout this season, do the Nets get swept in this series? I don't think so. I think everybody knows the answer to that question is no. There might be a better chance for them to win the series. I still thought they were going to win the series. There's no way in hell they get swept if they're an actual team. The problem is they're not. And when you've got a guy like Kevin Durant, who is the franchise player, we know what's inhibiting Joe Tsai, the owner. We know what's inhibiting Sean Marks, the general manager. They want to do one thing, but they know KD might be against it. You can't alienate that, brother. So he's got the franchise strapped. That is why Kyrie would utter that nonsensical drivel out of his mouth. We gonna manage. We gonna manage. Like you should be, like you're worthy of being in the room when they're planning the future of this organization. Don't you need to show up to work first? Don't you need to be a reliable commodity that they look at and they say, okay, we know this brother's going to be there? Because guess what? The Brooklyn Nets have to manage their way around the possibility that Kyrie Irving might not be available. It is shameful. It's embarrassing. It's really disheartening that it's in this situation. And what's most disheartening is that you have people out there in the NBA and outside the NBA, like that fan base in Brooklyn and what have you, that would support the inactivity of Kyrie Irving.
Perk, before you jump in here, though, Stephen A., I don't want to conflate two issues, though. Kevin Durant did look hurt. Thought he handled that press conference perfectly. I don't think he could have said anything better.
No. What I'm saying is, that's why I came. If you remember, I said KD and Kyrie, and then I said Kyrie didn't look like it fazed him at all. Kevin Durant, here's the problem. Kevin Durant does care. I would never accuse him of such a thing. But you got to care enough to hold him accountable. And guess what? You can sit up there and say all the right things, but then if you go into the office and you tell Marks and you tell Josiah and them, I don't give a damn what you want, I want Kyrie Irving here, then you're handcuffing the franchise.
Molly, Stephen, let me say this. If I'm Kevin Durant, okay, I would want the hell out. I would want to get far away as possible from the Brooklyn Nets and Kyrie Irving. I would ask for a trade. And guess what? Nobody better look down on Kevin Durant, because you want to know why? The one person that has given his all since he signed with this organization
Kevin Durant.
has been Kevin Durant. Nobody else has. Even Steve Nash. I mean, I kept waiting to see when Steve Nash is going to make an adjustment. Steve Nash, when are you actually going to do something? Steve Nash, does KD have to continuously bail you out, or are you going to help KD get bailed out of this situation that he's in right now as far as going against the defense of the Boston Celtics? I'm telling you right now, Kevin Durant deserves better. Now, could he have played better? Absolutely. But it happens. But I tell you one thing, if I'm Kevin Durant, I want to get away from this madness. I want to go somewhere where I know that a guy's going to show up to work, my counterpartner is going to be there 100% of the time. I don't have to guess what he's thinking. I don't have to guess if he actually is fully committed. I don't want to guess if off-the-court activities or brotherhood or his social justice means a lot more to him than the game of basketball. And I'm not knocking that about Kyrie Irving. Because here's the thing, too. Let me address something about this quote-unquote NBA brotherhood, okay? See, the NBA brotherhood is some real brothers out there, but then there's some other brothers who just use that brotherhood term when it's convenient for them. Okay, they only want to be part of the brotherhood